What is up, my butter biscuits? Within today's video, we're going to be talking about Pat McGrath, y'all, because the fans are mad. And it's so crazy. I've made several videos before about Pat McGrath. As you guys know, before even jumping into this video, I just always feel the need to clarify my position on Pat McGrath. I absolutely adore her as an artist. I think she is genius. I think she is so talented. Recently, she just went viral on TikTok for the look that she created. I forget exactly for which runway it was, but basically she did a glass doll, and y'all, it was absolutely beautiful. I think that she's so iconic, honestly. And it's so crazy because I even knew who she was and looked up to her before she even came out with her own makeup brand. Working at MAC, I was like, oh my gosh, we had a lot of vision boards with her artistry on it, you know. But I do have to say, as far as her brand, y'all know I adore the quality. Honestly, I've always put it up there with my top shimmer. Y'all, I'm just so sorry. In my personal opinion, I don't think there's any other shimmers out there that top it. Even Natasha Denona, in my personal opinion, doesn't top Pat McGrath quality when it comes down to shimmer. But I have made several videos before, and the very first one that I did speak out about, y'all, landed me in a Reddit forum of people talking trash about me. And it's so crazy that recently I talked about Pat McGrath again, and more people were on the same bandwagon as me. Is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that she is just repeating the same exact color story, is just changing up the packaging, or she has the same shades in every single new launch. And I have to say, it's super repetitive, and recently she is coming out with another repeated product just in limited edition packaging and charging more for it, and people are losing their minds. Also, she is over there, I don't know if it's her, whoever's running her Instagram account, is deleting people's comments, and I think that really sucks, because I think as a brand, you should be open to constructive criticism. I've made, I want to say, maybe about 4 videos now about Pat McGrath and her being so repetitive and with the stuff that she comes out with. And I think it's so crazy when you look at Pat McGrath as an artist and look at the looks that she comes up with and her makeup, y'all. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder, is she the one that is the creative director behind her brand? I'm starting to think that maybe it's somebody else, because it seems like they just take the same colors and they'll sprinkle in a couple new colors and then throw it on a palette. And it's y'all, I've said it time and time again. I haven't purchased a Pat McGrath palette in a long time. The reason for that being is because I do find a lot of the palettes have the same colors in them. I want to say, if maybe you own 3 different Pat McGrath palettes, you pretty much own them all. Also, too, I do want to give a shout out before getting into this video. A shout out to Renelle Smith, y'all. She sent me a Christmas present. I picked it up way later, y'all, because I completely forgot to check my PO box. And y'all, when I went to go check it, oh my gosh, she sent me this new Pat McGrath palette. And I did want to talk about this briefly, because I am going to be doing a review of this. I have never tried a Pat McGrath blush. This right here is the blush and eyeshadow palette, and y'all, I'm super excited to try this. However, I don't have time to try it before Tokyo, so when I do get back from, or Japan, I guess I'm going to different places in Japan, I will do a review of this. I know I'm behind on my reviews. I'm going to do a versus of the James Charles versus the Jeffree Star palettes, as well as I'm going to create a second look too with just the James Charles palette. And then I'm going to be trying this out right here. I'm super excited to try this, because like I said, I have never tried a Pat McGrath blush, and y'all, this one right here is calling my name. But just to even tell you guys what I'm talking about, y'all, I always say within a Pat McGrath palette, she always has this blushy rose shade right here, as well as this burgundy shade, which I know I'm probably sounding a little bit hypocritical when I talk about this, because I love those shades. If you guys check out my eyeshadow tutorials or my eyeshadow looks, I love those shades. But it is really repetitive, obviously, if you do have several different palettes from her brand. But with that being said, in my personal opinion, y'all, the reason why I love Pat McGrath so much as far as quality is because of the shimmer shadows. But once again, thank you so much, Renelle Smith, for sending me this, y'all. I really appreciate it, but I'm not going to be able to review it until I get back from Japan, because I am so far behind on all my other work. Y'all, she also sent me this too, which this little palette right here, I do have to say is, it's a little bit different than her others. As you guys can see from right here, we don't have the pink. This right here, y'all, oh my gosh, this center shimmer right here is my go-to shade right here. That is absolutely beautiful. But anyways, when I do get back from Japan, I'm going to be doing a review of that. But within today's video, we're going to be talking about the fans being upset with Pat McGrath, and y'all, they are sounding off in the comments of Trend Mood's video. And they're going ham. And also, I do want to say, I've reported on this before not me saying reported, who do I think I am? But I have talked about it before, and y'all, she has been called out so many times for deleting her comments, and I don't think that that's okay. I think any brand out there should be open to constructive criticism, because at the end of the day, you want to listen to your customers and provide good products for your customers. So we're going to be talking about that, as well as her Divine Rose 2 palette being relaunched, and her last launch too. There are so many comments that I'm going to be reading within today's video, because I just find this to be so funny. To be so honest with you guys, I received so much damn hate for the very first video I made about this, maybe about a year and a half ago, shit, maybe even 2 years ago now, as to where I was like, oh my gosh, Pat McGrath, you're so boring. You know what I mean? I can't believe now so many people are speaking up on it. And I'm like, y'all, I low-key got bashed for that. So I'm like, I guess I wasn't wrong. I feel low-key a little vindicated if I'm being honest with you guys. So we're going to be talking about that within today's video. Also, do not forget to check out my podcast. It'll be linked down below. Y'all, they are hot mess podcasts, okay? I just got to let you guys know before going into that, if you guys are easily offended, don't watch, okay? Because we literally are being our full authentic selves, and we do talk about everything, and some things may be a little bit offensive or whatnot, but honestly, y'all, I made a vow to myself as well as to my friend that we're going to be fully open, transparent, vulnerable, and maybe even at times sound very ignorant, because y'all, I feel like this day and age people are so pressured to know everything about everything, and that's just not the reality. You know what I mean? There's so many people that are uneducated about things, myself included. I'm extremely uneducated about things. Like low-key, I'll be the first one to admit that low-key I am ignorant, but I just feel like that's all of us. Well, not all of us, but most of us, you know what I mean? So we're just being fully authentically ourselves, and it's a hot mess, just letting you guys know. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure you guys click the link down below. Let's go ahead and get into the video. So recently I was scrolling through Trend Mood and I saw this palette, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, okay, at first, because obviously everybody on Instagram, and I feel like y'all, sometimes people don't even read the description box, myself included. People go a little ham on people, but it's like at the end of the day, when you see a picture, obviously you see it first rather than read. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not the only one, obviously, that saw this and was like, wait, hold on, I have this palette, right? I actually have this palette, but the thing is, she repackaged it for Valentine's Day. You guys are probably seeing this video a little bit later, because I am pre-filming, so I do have a lot of videos, you know, scheduled. So I don't know when you guys are watching this, but this is for Valentine's Day, and I do have to say, when I first saw this, I was like, this is the same exact palette of which I already have. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Turns out that it is just the Divine Rose 2 in gold packaging with a different unicarton, which is red with a blue rose on it. And I have to say, at first, when you look at this packaging, obviously you're going to think that it's going to be something a little bit different. And it's like, no, it's literally just repackaging. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't know what it is with Pat McGrath specifically. Like, no matter what palette she comes out with, they always have similar colors in them. Yes, this is just a repeat, just in a new package. But in general, even if she comes out with a brand new palette, it's going to have the same type of shades in it. And I'm just like, is she sitting on millions of actual individual eyeshadows that she has to like put inside of a palette? Like, that's my genuine question, because I'm like, how many times can a brand come out with the same exact colors? It just doesn't really make any sense to me, right? Well, I took a look at this and obviously saw, okay, this is just a you know, limited edition basically of just the packaging. The original one is black and this one right here is gold, but it is the same exact color story. There is not one color added to this, which I'm like, I don't kind of understand the purpose of this. Now, I do want to say this though. This palette right here, specifically the Divine Rose 2, I purchased it. I have done several eyeshadow looks on my YouTube channel of this palette, and I have to say, if I was to like do, you know what, I think I actually did do a video with like my top 10 favorite eyeshadow palettes of all time. This is in there. So I'm not complaining about the color story. I think the color story is absolutely beautiful. I love this color story. And y'all, because of me, several of my friends actually purchased this palette because I showed it to them and they're like, oh my gosh, I need it. It is so beautiful. The thing is, I just don't understand the need to like repackage it and call it a day. They've done this before with the Star Wars collection. They've done it before with other collections. And I just don't understand, why don't you be creative and come out with something a little bit different? Like, it seems like they're just trying to over and over again sell the same exact color story. And I don't quite understand this. Also, on top of that too, this is $150. You can actually go get the Divine Rose 2, I believe, for $125 or $128. I'll put it up on the screen. And I'm like, why are you going to pay more just for gold packaging? Like, it's really not all that spectacular. This outside unicarton, yes, it's like red and has that like blue rose on it, but it's like, yo, 9 times out of 10 you throw that away. Like, I threw mine away, you know what I mean? I know some people do keep it, but I don't know, for the most part I feel like you throw it away, so it's just kind of wasteful in my personal opinion, and I just don't understand why you're coming out with the same exact color story. Well, I was really glad to see that. I clicked on over to the comments of Trend Mood, y'all, and I am just going to read some of these comments, and I am not the only one. This first comment right here: I'm tired of the same palettes. I love Pat McGrath, but I swear I already have this palette. Obviously, a lot of people didn't read that this is just a repackaged palette. I'm telling you, myself included, before I read it, I was like, no, I know I have this palette. Like, I know I have this. I was about to like go through my whole eyeshadow drawers and be like, I know I have it. But then obviously I like read further and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just repackaged, which... Someone please let me know what's the purpose of like repackaging it. Do you feel like they repackage it because it'll like catch a new eye? So maybe somebody who before didn't purchase the Divine Rose 2, the original one, maybe now they'll see it and be like, oh, it's in a gold package, so now I want it. I'm curious about that because I've never been that type of person to just be like, oh my god, I'm gonna purchase this just because this one's in gold and that one's in black. Like, I don't really care. Do you know what I mean? It's about the inside color story to me. Anyways, moving on here. Well, who could have known? An old palette in new packaging. How innovative. At least she isn't trying to hide her laziness anymore. Another comment right here. Is she trolling us at this point? This can't be the next actual mothership when your fans have been disappointed by the last 4 and you do the exact thing they don't want. Like, y'all, the comments go in and in and in. Another one right here. Somebody at Pat McGrath has mistaken Valentine's Day for April Fool's. Clearly. Must be a joke, right? Right? Like, y'all, it literally just goes on and on and on. Here goes another one right here. It's so sad to see the fan base and community being so disappointed with this brand. I myself am not interested in buying another from Pat McGrath Labs. While your founder and creator continues to innovate and inspire in her work, the corporate side of the brand is recycling the same thing over and over. So many missed opportunities in 2024 alone for limited edition launches to excite. I really hope the marketing, sales, and product development departments are being given these responses. Such a shame. Y'all, I just don't understand the purpose of this. I really don't. Oh, by the way, it's $128. So it's $22 more for that limited edition packaging just for it to be gold versus black. Like, I don't get it, y'all. I really don't. If you actually go back to her last launch too, which was posted in January on Trend Mood, people are saying the same exact thing over here, y'all. And then look, this is from 4 weeks ago. Can't believe she deleted my comments about recycling the shadows and blocked me. Is there no room for criticism anymore? And if you guys take a look onto Reddit, there is several users who say every single time I give constructive criticism to the brand, they get blocked. Somebody even had posted on there, they commented that they actually commented on there and it wasn't even bad. It was like, can you please stop recycling the same eyeshadow shades? And Pat McGrath's team or whoever runs her account over there blocked her. I was like, okay, you're doing the most now, and I don't understand why somebody wouldn't be open to constructive criticism. It's so crazy, y'all, because if I owned a brand, oh my god, I would be on live like every other day, like, what should I do with this? What should I do with this? Like, I want to hear from the people that are going to be purchasing my products, and I don't understand why her or her team would be deleting this. I don't get it. I feel like they should be open to constructive criticism. And I feel like, y'all, if you guys look at all of the recent posts of Pat McGrath, the comments just go in and in and in. Even on this last one from 4 weeks ago, can someone for certain confirm if these are repeat shadows in the quad, repeat shades in the quad? Not sure if it's because we all wanted more or if they truly are repeats. It's like all they pretty much do is just repackage it, y'all, just over and over again. Like, I don't get it. Even somebody else right here. The brand account says these were the most loved shades of 2023 and that's why we were chosen. But I think it's because these are the only shades they've been offering in 2023. It's such a disappointment that the brand has fallen this hard and won't listen to customers at all. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, the comments go in, and I mean by the hundreds. Like, there's literally hundreds of comments going in on Pat McGrath. And I have made this video so many times. And it's so crazy to think that, like, the first one that I made, like, low-key kind of calling out Pat McGrath because I look up to her so much. I respect her so much. I think the quality of her products is so absolutely amazing. It's so crazy to think that somebody as innovative and creative and, like, inspiring as her is just being so lazy with her work and her brand. Because I'm like, whatever formula she has, keep that formula. The packaging and everything too, it's like, y'all, you feel how luxurious it is. If you guys own a Pat McGrath palette, it's like heavy duty and it's like really, really nice. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go out here and say like, oh my gosh, all of our palettes are worth $150 or $128, but they are worth a higher price point, obviously, than something like Too Faced. Do you know what I mean? Or like Jeffree Star or like any other brands out there as far as eyeshadow. In my personal opinion, I do feel like they are better than Natasha Denona in my personal opinion too. But I just think it's so crazy because when you look at her work and the looks that she creates for the runway, it's like, where is that being incorporated into your brand? Because I think a lot of us would want that, you know? Anyways, I wanted to update you guys on this. As you guys know, I am a big Pat McGrath stan, and I really do hope that she stops blocking people. I hope that she stops deleting. Well, I'm not going to say her specifically because I understand she probably does have a media account manager, but her team needs to be made aware of this, that they can't be blocking people, and they should actually focus on listening to their customers and seeing that we don't want these repeated shades over and over again, or just repackaged product. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they're fishing at this point to where they're like, well, the original's $128, but let's go ahead and make this one right here in gold and try to sell it for $150 to see if we can come up on some extra money. It's like, okay, y'all, come out with a new palette. I know that Pat McGrath has the creative side of her to like come out with something bomb, and I'm like low key waiting on it. I'm itching for it, and I want to be excited again from the brand. And I feel like everything that she is coming out with recently is just like so repetitive. Like, so repetitive, y'all. Anyways, I did want to update you guys on this. Make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.